You're listening to the audio production of An Amish Cradle by Amy Clipston, Beth Wiseman, Kathleen Fuller, and Vanetta Chapman, published by Thomas Nelson and read by Rebecca Gallagher.
In His Father's Arms by Beth Wiseman. Prologue. Ruth Anne squeezed her eyes closed and held her breath as she sat beside her husband in the hospital waiting room. They left Bethany's room because her best friend's wailing was more than Ruth Anne could bear. Levi leaned closer to her, the roughness of his brown beard grazing her cheek as he whispered, "You know your delivery won't be like this. Bethany has never had good tolerance for pain." She opened her eyes, glanced around the waiting room, then also spoke softly. "Having babies hurts. Even Mom said that God makes sure we shed the memory. Otherwise, we'd all just have one child." She squeezed her lips together and held her breath again, remembering Bethany's cries. Ruth Anne looked around the room again. Both of Bethany's parents were here, along with her in-laws and cousins. About 20 folks waiting for little Esther Rose to arrive. Levi leaned close to her again. "Ruthie, you're going to do real fine. Mary Elizabeth is going to see to that." He gave a taut nod at the mention of the midwife who would be delivering their baby. Unlike her best friend, Ruth Anne had chosen not to deliver in a hospital, and she'd also opted not to have an ultrasound or pain medication. But as she listened to Bethany struggle, she was starting to second-guess her choices. But her husband was right. They'd all grown up together, and Bethany made a fuss over the smallest of ailments. Ruth Anne stood and walked down the hall to listen at her friend's door. She strained to hear something since Bethany had grown quiet. She silently prayed that the worst of the pain was over and that little Esther Rose had made a safe and healthy arrival into the world. It was about 20 minutes later when John walked into the waiting area, a tiny bundle swaddled in his arms. His ear-to-ear smile was proof that all was well. Everyone rushed toward him, and Levi helped lift Ruth Anne from her chair. As scared of the delivery as she was, she had to admit she was ready to hold her own baby in her arms. She waited until the grandparents and other family members had a chance to see Esther Rose before she and...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?